Hey guys, it's Co-Trainer. My name is Cole, and welcome to the Cookie Room. Uh, Today I'm going to be talking about why I'm choosing to go the business route in Pokemon versus the investing, and we'll get into that here in a bit. But thank you guys for being here and dealing with me moving to a different area. This is my wife's cookie room right now, but I'm starting my own business too, so maybe we can turn it into a studio later on and where we can store some Pokemon product. But right now it's the cookie room. My son is out there in the living room. It's kind of attached to the dining room, watching a movie because he's been up since 4, and so I thought that he can keep watching that, keep him occupied, and I'll come back in here and start a video. But the wife and the other boy are sleeping, so I kind of wanted to make sure that I didn't have any unnecessary noise. But anyway, let's get into why I'm wanting to do the business side versus investing for now. And that's because I need to raise up some funds to just wanting to get into Pokemon, right? Like, I don't just have money lying around that I want to buy and hold a Pokemon product or cards and wait for them to appreciate right now. I just don't have that luxury. I'm in my mid-20s, I'm 26, and, like I've said in many of my other videos, house, wife, kids, cars, all those kinds of things are just kind of coming at you at once. And we just don't have the discretionary income for me to just be like, hey, I want to spend $500 this month on some sealed product that I think will go up in value in the next 5 years. I just don't have that, right? So getting into the business side is going to help me try to build up a little bit of capital, stay in the hobby, be in the know, all that kind of stuff, and, build up funds so then maybe whenever I do see a move, I can make it for some Pokemon products in the future. But as I've said before, I've kind of just got back into the hobby. I don't know it as well over the past 5 years as I did, back in 2020 a little bit, and had some knowledge on newer sets. But I'm happy to be making these videos to kind of show you how I'm learning, what I'm doing to learn more about the Pokemon hobby as I'm making these videos. And that's been really exciting to kind of see the progression that I've made. And I'm hoping to just do that with you. And, leave a comment if you feel like you're kind of in the same boat. You don't have the funds to spend on product, but you do want to get into Pokemon. And, singles are a good way to do that as well. I'm just wanting to go the more sealed route because I just tried making a list of the cards I made in that video, and we got a baby crying. So on more of the single side, I listed all of the cards that I kind of had in that video. Not all of them, just those Japanese holos from the New World or English Neo Genesis set. And that is a pain. It is a pain taking a picture of all of those cards, and not only just like taking a picture front and back, but people will ask for pictures of the cards again to get some better photos of the cards. And I understand that, like, as a buyer, I completely understand that. But as a seller, you are getting, bugged about doing that kind of stuff. And, also the condition of the cards is a big one. Like, somebody who says that it's near mint, like they're expecting a 9 or a 10, 9 or a 10 at PSA, and it's like, no, I mean, whenever you grade a card at PSA, it says, near mint 8 or whatever, and it's like, that kind of stuff is hard, and people will return raw cards because they have something they didn't see in the picture, and they can no longer do with the card what they wanted to do, or something that didn't fit in their collection, and so now they're unhappy and they want to return, and that kind of stuff's a hassle. Now, don't get me wrong, I understand this can happen in sealed products as well. And there are a lot of sealed collectors out there, and they want their boxes in pristine condition. And not every box is going to be in pristine condition. It's an outside package. It is a card that, or not, it is a box that's been banged around, put on shelves, things like that. It's probably not going to be near mint, and there will be, returns on that for some, maybe some tears on some plastic on the outside wrapping, and maybe dings in the corners and things like that. And I've watched a few videos of, DJ's Poke Center. He was talking about, not being able to sell a lot of sealed English product because it has damage to it a little bit. Like there's just some cut seals, and and it's got a little ding on the corner, and collectors don't want that whenever they're buying sealed product. And over the internet, whenever you purchase that online, you don't know, and then you get it and you think it's damaged, yada yada yada. And it's much easier to sell that kind of stuff in person because there's a little bit more of a one-on-one engagement. They can trust you a little bit more and know that you're not trying to rip them off or sell them resealed product. And so, I understand that stress as well, but it's not every single individual card, and that could happen. And for any package or box or anything like that, packs, that's most likely not going to be the case on potentially every single item. But every single card could go through that. And now I understand why people go through the grading, because nobody really cares about the way the card looks because it's graded, and they're like, oh, that's the condition of the card, and they just purchase that label. So that's why I'm wanting to go the sealed route, get into Japanese product, because it would be available and cheaper, and I can also, burn and churn that a little bit more. It's very difficult to find a specific person who's ready to buy a specific card, right? It's a lot easier to find somebody who is willing to buy a product range, as in you're buying sealed product to possibly open, and you just want the cards that are inside. There are multiple items within that box that you could want, or you specifically want, for example, Nail Zero, and that's what you're going to get. You're looking for it, and it's abundant, more or less. And obviously I hope that whenever I open up my store, you guys can purchase that from me. But just speaking in general, it's a whole lot easier to find somebody who's willing to buy, a product range than a specific card. So I kind of wanted to touch on that a little bit, and the difficulty of selling raw cards. And it's a bit easier on TCG Player. The way I did it in the past was I didn't take pictures. I just kind of listed the card and then did say if it was near mint or lightly played. And it's a lot more forgiving on TCG Player. You're not going to get as much of a premium because people don't normally post the pictures, and you can't see the image of the card like you can on eBay, and somebody gets to inspect it. And but if you're getting something on TCG Player that's near mint, I just feel like it's probably not gradable, if that makes sense. Unless it's like a pack fresh card, you kind of just have to get lucky, in my opinion. But that's just my thoughts on why I'm going the business route versus the investing, and also going the sealed route versus the flipping cards, because getting into graded cards is expensive. You have to put money up front, and there's going to be a lot of time in between. And so I'm just at the point where I have figured out a little bit in the past what I enjoyed, and it was but to me it was just more enjoyable to have a big box, sealed box up on the shelf than it was for me to have 100 slabs in a box. You know what I mean? That's just kind of the way I felt about it, and kind of how I'm wanting to carry that into the business. So let's see if, you know, if I want to eventually become an investor in the future, you know, I do need to have money to invest, and you do need to have money to invest to start, you know what I mean? And like I touched on before, in order for us to be able to, you know, spend $500 on a sealed product or some kind of booster box or whatever, you know, we can't do that. It's needing to go towards other things. So starting this business, I'm hoping, can kind of just stay within the Pokemon realm and allow me to build up enough capital where if there were investment moves that came along, then I would be able to have the funds to spend on those items. And you know, it's not a very good philosophy to try to buy and hold with only a couple $100. You're not gonna get rich. And I was watching a video that Pokémon posted about, you know, being wealthy versus being rich, and he had a hot take, and I would agree with him, because there is the opportunity, you know, staying on my current track as a electrical engineer, and you know, staying the course and the job, and just investing into my 401k. Like I can be wealthy, you know, into my 60s, but you know, why not try to? You're not going to get rich doing that. Nobody's going to get rich just putting in a couple $100 a month into the you know, stock market, S&P 500 or whatever. You know, I'm not endorsing or condoning anybody to, you know, you do whatever you want to do. You know, a little disclaimer. I'm just going to tell you what I'm doing, you know, and currently through my employer, I'm able to invest some of my money, and so I do that. But I'm not going to get rich doing that. And, you know, there is the possibility that you could get rich if you start trying to sell and purchase and resell Pokemon. There is that opportunity, there is that chance for growth, because the hobby is growing and things do go up in price. Things also come down. It's just like any other market, but relatively speaking, as in the past, you know, things have gone up in price. But only spending $100, you know, a month is not going to get you rich. Like, you could get wealthy on that, you know, in your 50s and 60s whenever you go to try to sell it again, but you're not going to get rich. And it's just try not to feel like you're behind, because in life, whenever you do just have one job and you know, my wife's staying home, it can kind of feel like you're starting to get behind a little bit. And I do have the drive to want to do more, and finding time is very difficult. Very difficult. I was up at like 3 this morning to try to take the photos and figure out the prices of those Japanese cards. And you know, it's just, I didn't make the time last night. I fell asleep with the boys, trying to put them to sleep because mom wasn't home. And you know, when I woke up, it was 1 o'clock, and you know, I just didn't make the time. And so I know that this is going to have to be a slow roll, and I'm glad I'm not just trying to jump into this thing head first, you know, by purchasing product and getting all that stuff set up and just creating content to try to build up a following organically, and you know, put myself out there to see what this is going to be like before I just dive in head first and start putting a ton of money into it. And I think it's working. You know, we've generated 20 subscribers, and you know, shout out to Krabby's Cards. I've enjoyed his content immensely. You guys should check him out. You know, he has been inspiring me. He started just a couple weeks after me, and he's already got, you know, a couple hundred subscribers, and he's got so much knowledge in the Pokemon community and the Pokemon space, and kind of more towards the investing side, but also, current news and things like that. And you guys should just go check out his channel. He did subscribe to the channel. That's awesome. Thank you so much for doing that, Patrick. But I can't tell you enough how much that is inspiring me to do better and better because of the following that he has started to, acquire so quickly. And, I understand that, you want things to happen organically, but you also want to see that growth. And I'm continuing to see that growth. And I have, like I said, 20 subscribers. And man, if I try to put 20 people in this room that wanted to listen to me, I would be so nervous. Just think about that. If you're making content and you're maybe disappointed where you're at and your following and your views and things like that, just think about that many people that are following you or that many people that viewed your video. Imagine them in the same room as you. Imagine that many people willing to listen to you and care to hear what you're talking about. And that just put into perspective how, such a small following can mean so much. And you see these people with followings of, 30, 60,000 and, even 1,000. It's like, that's, 60,000, you're filling stadiums with people who want to hear what you have to say. And that's just crazy whenever I think about it that way. And so I'm so thankful for the YouTubers out there who are kind of putting that in perspective whenever you're creating content. And that, whenever you think about the people who are willing to listen to you before and then now, like the difference in that number is just astronomical. And when you think about percentages instead of just numbers, it's like, man, to begin the week, I believe we had around 12 subscribers, and now we have 20, like to double in a week. Like, that's just crazy. It's cool stuff. And, I appreciate all you guys listening. Please leave a like and comment down below and kind of let me know where you're at in your journey. Are you currently trying to figure out if you want to get in the hobby, or currently you're sitting out because everything's too high? Let me know what you're doing, because I'm currently technically like sitting out. I'm not purchasing anything yet. I'm actually selling stuff. So I guess I'm not sitting on the sidelines. I am liquidating, some of my small collection. It's not much. I think after I put together the Japanese hollows that were in that video that I showed, they're roughly like maybe $400 worth. I mean, that's not much, but it's something. That's something that we can start our LLC with right there. And, I'm just really excited. Trying to stay positive. Life is hard. I don't have all the time in the world. You got to make time. I tell myself over and over again, whenever somebody asks if I've done this or done that, my excuse is not I didn't have time. The excuse should always be I didn't make time. And that has just kind of brought a new perspective on life, on what I can do and what I could do in the future. So like, I didn't get up at 5 a.m. before I started making these videos, but I realized that I'm not going to be able to sit down and do this at 10 o'clock or midnight. The time to do it is in the morning. And even today, I was challenged. My boys were up, and I was challenged not to get in front of the camera, but here I am. And so I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Kind of just me rambling a little bit on why I'm wanting to get into the business side. I want to get into Pokemon. I enjoy it. I enjoyed it as a kid, and I want to continue to enjoy it with all of you. and that's kind of where I'm at right now. And I kind of just wanted to give an update and wish you guys a great weekend, and hope to talk to you again soon. So thank you, like and subscribe.